through the magic of television, welcome to a different location for this episode of the Find Watchers podcast.
A different one again.
Indeed. Episode 12 this time. And we are at the Watch Dealers in sunny Queensland.
Yeah, so this is my store and welcome. It's great to have you here. You've not been yet, but
indeed.
This is fantastic. So yeah, we're on location at the Watch Dealers.
It is. It's lovely. There's a very shiny case of Rolexes here behind us.
It's a very shiny case of shiny Rolexes, right?
It is very shiny, indeed. Indeed. So welcome to the episode. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the shorter format as much as we've been enjoying bringing it to you. We've had a few good comments on it, so thank you for that. And as usual, if you like what you're seeing, please throw us a like and maybe make a comment and subscribe because it does help us. I know we say it every time, but we're saying it again.
What's the thing? Smash the like button.
Smash the like. Yeah. Smash that like button.
But the community that's building up behind the Find Watchers podcast has been amazing. I mean, every episode it seems we're getting 3, 4, 5 people coming in, and we're getting thousands and thousands of you fellow watch nerds just viewing the videos and hopefully enjoying the content. So we're really happy with it. The comments mean the world to us, and we try and get to every single one of you. So yeah, please just comments. They do a great thing for us, and we just like hearing from you. Gerald Genter designed, 1980, so just after the Royal Oak was made. Wow. Boulevard released their own, and that's it. So this is actually 40-odd years old at this point. And check out the bracelet stretch on this thing. 40 years old, and I've
zero.
seen... Yeah.
Absolutely zero.
10-year-old date just can't do that. So, yeah, it's a beautiful piece. It's 36mm, automatic. It's an ETA movement, but that's why the price is not Royal Oak price.
Jeez, it's really not far...
No, not
different, is it? I mean, the texture, as we talked about in that episode, is still gorgeous.
Yeah. And the hands too.
The hands a little bit plainer than the sort of full batten hands on the other one, but you know, for the money, who cares? Because they're really pretty and nice anyway. And I love Boulevard. Like I reckon, you know, their Moonwatch it's a real moonwatch. Like it's actually been to the moon, and you know, it's really underrated. I think people, you know, sort of steer clear of it a little bit because it's got that sort of quartz movement and whatever.
The boulevardness of it as well.
But it's such a good looking watch.
I think so. We've sold quite a few of those recently.
The curved, the start-stop pushes and everything. It's cool. I think it's cool.
And now they've brought the smaller one out. It's way better.
Great looking.
What's on your wrist, Matt?
One that I think I've worn before, frankly, but I just love it. This is the 146007 Omega Seamaster. That's my favourite colour combination of them, with that nice deep blue sunburst dial.
Dial's nuts on this
white
watch.
sub-dial. It's just beautiful.
And it's got what I think of as traditionally a Speedmaster element with their chronographs, the chrono hand, with the aeroplane insignia essentially.
Yes.
Which I think is quite cool.
Yeah, I mean there's quite a bit of crossover between this and the Speedy 4.5.
That's what
I'm thinking of. So it's got that the same movement and the same layout of the functions. It's got the little 24-hour hand underneath and all that. So there was quite a bit of crossover between the Seamasters and Speedmasters at this point. And they were all sort of trying to get that kind of jet set lifestyle thing happening. It was the time of the Flightmaster as well.
Yeah, okay.
Which brings us perfectly to...
What a segue.
Today's episode. Don't say I don't think about these things.
Well done.
We're talking about pilot watches.
Yeah.
So it's obviously... clocks made a massive difference to navigation around the world, because people could work out how far they'd sailed and time relative to where the sun was and all that sort of stuff, and they could work out therefore where they were.
I don't understand the maths of it, but that was a pretty good way of explaining. Time means you know where you're going.
Exactly, comparing time to astronomical charts, basically where things are in the sky compared to what the accurate clock says.
Yeah.
And watches have always been essential for the same reasons to pilots, because obviously, you know, as you get up high or whatever, and the what's the word, perspective on how far you've moved or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
really means that you don't know where you're going. So, and I guess it's probably useful to kind of define, I guess, when we're talking about this, what we mean. So, things like pilot watches feature things like legibility.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to see it under difficult circumstances.
And in the modern times, that goes along with a big dial, right? That tends to be what you see. You think of the IWC big pilot or Navitimers, just massive discs of watches, yeah.
Yeah, although Navitimers arguably have zero legibility.
There's too much going on.
Although I think if you know what a slide rule does, that probably helps, but I certainly don't.
I need to give a shout out here to a fellow Brisbaneite or Queenslander, Warwick, who launched a brand recently, Atmos watches. I don't know if you ever saw this. It was a Kickstarter that successfully funded with a slide rule bezel and everything, and unfortunately, due to some really unfortunate circumstances in his personal life, he had to cancel the Kickstarter, but he should be coming back. So Atmos watches were something I saw using a proper slide rule bezel without all the Navitimer fluff. It was just time only and a slide rule, and it was amazing. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
It was cool. But look, we've got a selection on the table that we're going to talk about. I think, if we're talking historical terms, we should probably talk about the first pilot watch. Fortunately, we've got one in the store today. The modern interpretation of that watch being the Cartier Santos. This is a watch that came out originally in 1911 and was designed for pilots, for ultra legibility. And I think that's stayed the course of it stayed true to its design heritage for all that time, over 100 years, and a beautiful rendition of the modern example of that watch there.
I think these are one of the more underrated watches. I mean, I say the same thing about these as I said a couple of episodes about the big Royal Oak.
Mm-hmm.
I don't personally really love the sort of industrial look of them, but for my own wrist. But I think it really works, and I think that obviously Cartier's execution of it is gorgeous. And frankly, I didn't know that they came out as a pilot's watch originally. So that's news to me. But they are gorgeous, and they're certainly legible and a really nice watch.
And with this one, I mean, I've been fortunate. I've had two Santoses in my personal collection. I've had a Galbi, which is the previous. I had one with a guilloche dial. It's gorgeous. And then I've had the medium white dial of this. With these, you get quick release links, not just the strap. I mean, the strap pops out from the case and you can change it to bracelet or straps, but each link is removable without tools. So not only is this the first pilot's watch, it's innovating to this day with things like quick release bracelets and quick release links, which I think is really, really cool on these ones. These are a great option if you're looking for a pilot's watch to just say, hey, I got the first pilot's watch. What's better than that?
Super nice.
What else have we got on the table? I think you wanted to talk about IWC today.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a lot of people want big pilots.
Yeah.
And I think that they're a nice watch. It's another one that I think is in the maybe people pay a little bit too much for it for what it is.
Don't pay retail
Section.
Yeah.
Look, even secondhand. I mean, I love these Fliegers. The
Fliegers are
chronographs.
Yeah.
I think they're gorgeous. I think they are, they really define what a Flieger chronograph should look like.
Yeah.
It's arguable that, in fact, the design came from Laco, from sort of Luftwaffe designs of years before.
Exactly.
But this is very, very, very true to the sort of German, very, very Teutonic purity. Fortis does a Flieger which is very similar.
Nice.
So there are a lot of Flieger chronographs or pilot chronographs that really this watch is the innovator for, and I love them. And it sort of five, anywhere between 4 for a dumper and through to 5, 6, 7
For the chronos, yeah.
For the chronos is amazing. I think it's absolutely amazing what you get for the money with these.
For the chrono, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely. Yeah.
When you're talking chronos, the Flieger, the Fortis and the IWC are probably the two ones you want to go for.
Yeah.
Budgetary wise, I think, if you've got $5,000 to spend. For me personally, get the IWC. I know you really like the Fortis though.
Well, I think the thing is that the Fortis is, they're both a 7750.
Yeah.
Base movement.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with a different rotor on it. Maybe someone polished something or other or whatever, but It's basically the same guts of the thing. The design is ever so slightly different, and the Fortis has just a little bit more colour in it.
Yeah.
Because the colour of the loom and everything is
Yeah.
slightly different, which if you like that is great. But yeah, look, I mean, I think the IWC is it certainly has a nicer bracelet and everything. So the build quality is definitely better on the casing and the bracelet and everything. Straps not as much of a difference.
But you're going to get the same look and feel for a couple of grand less, right?
Absolutely. So if you don't have $5,000 for
it's not the end of the world
for an IWC, you can get something which is extremely comparable in every way, really, for a lot less. Although they seem to be coming up a little bit for a good one.
I do tend to agree. And you know, when we're talking about this sort of German style of German-inspired World War II Flieger-esque watch, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You could, like you said earlier, you can go to Laco, Stover. You can go to those brands and
Junghans
Junghans is a great call.
Junghans is an excellent watch. Yeah, absolutely.
For a grand, brand new, you're going to pick up a really good ETA Solida-based watch with a Flieger design that, if you get one that's not branded on the dial, because that's a bit of a trope of these watches, is there's no branding on the dial.
Yeah.
You get one of those, you'd never know. You'd never know it wasn't an IWC.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. So I think...
And you know what, at the bottom end, and maybe it's embarrassing to say this, Junkers.
Junkers.
I have never bought one because I don't know anything about the brand.
Because it's
and
not
they seem
Junkers.
and they seem very, very cheap.
Yeah.
But to be fair, they have some super cool designs that if they were, put out by an IWC or a Fortis or whatever, you'd go like, wow, that's...
I think that's the thing. If you're going for a three-hand, just a simple three-hand Flieger, don't go the big pilots, don't go the $10,000 IWCs or anything like that. Just get one of those Junkers, Junghans, Stover, Lacos for $1,000 or less, and you're going to have a great time. It's basically the same watch, essentially. For all intents and purposes, what you're getting is the same, and you may as well enjoy it.
And the history of Laco, we haven't got time to run through a massive amount of it, but the history of Laco is that they are arguably the ones who kind of invented that style with the triangle and the two dots and all that for watches that they were making for the Luftwaffe during World War One.
So you may as well get one of those.
Have a look at the history of it, and they make some gorgeous watches now, really good value.
Well, we've got watches on the table here that we're talking, tens of thousands of dollars for $1,000. Go get the Laco. There's no brainer. But
great watch.
We can go down that path for a long time.
We can.
So let's talk modern and let's talk ridiculous. Let's talk Bremont Alti B in full blackout, completely flying in the face. He segues, I do puns. Flying in the face of the pilot watch trope. This is not legible at all. This is full black rotor, black case, black everything, bright white hands. The only thing that's legible in this is the time.
Yeah.
Everything else is just for show and fun, right?
Yeah. Look, I mean, I think Bremont. This is a pity for me from Bremont. I mean, the time legibility is awesome, and I do like the fact that the hands are white and they really stands out and everything. Why I say it's disappointing is that I think that Bremont are doing. Their designs are cool. Like it's something modern. It's something that is distinctly a Bremont. If you see one of these, it cannot be anything else. And that colourway is just pointless. Basically, it's just pointless. And it's, I mean, look, it's cool, and you can argue that black on black is cool. I would not own one of these, and I have sworn to never own another black car because they're bloody always dirty.
And I do
own
a black. I have an all black car that's wrapped black, and it is always dirty.
But it's matte, don't know.
Yeah, it's matte in parts. It's matte in parts. It's actually it's really annoying to the point that this is going to make me sound really bad. But you know what? I love you guys, and I'll let you have it. Every second week, I'm in the store on a Saturday for half a day just to make sure everything's okay. And one of our very good friend's sons has started up a car detailing business, and I'm one of his regular customers, and he comes to the shop and washes all the guys in the store's car. Because mainly I hate my black car being dirty. So I just pay him to do it.
And in Queensland as well, it must be hot all the time.
It is.
So black on black watch,
Not practical.
Same as black on black car. Like, looks cool, undeniable.
Just
difficult to live with.
I'll throw myself in further. My wife has an all black wrapped car as well. So I'm guilty of the crime of black on black. Let's quickly escape ridiculousness to ridiculousness and talk Bell & Ross. We've got to watch here. Bell & Ross is a brand that is probably most known for their pilot style inspiration.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're actually developing pilot watches is probably up for you guys to decide. I'm torn on this. We have here one of the tonneau shapes, the BR02, in matte black and rose gold.
I think that I agree with you. I think they're more pilot inspired than pilot's watches. Yep. One of the things that's important on a pilot's watch is actually a chronograph and the slide rule.
I did have the chronograph of that in the store until last week.
So that's why I like the Fliegers and because it helped them to time distances flown and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think these are very much inspired by sort of dashboard dials and instruments. They do a really good job of that.
They do a chrono of this exact watch. It doesn't have slide rule and stuff, but it is a chrono as well. So you can imagine another pusher on the bottom of this one, and it's the same.
I think the other thing is with this one, the crown guard would make it difficult in pilots' gloves but I don't even know that pilots wear gloves. Do they still? I don't know.
When they're in their old-timey pop little propeller thing with their thick gloves going, oh, by Jove.
By Jove, I can't adjust this watch.
I don't think that's relevant.
No, I don't think it is, to be honest. But Bell & Ross the same. I mean, the other day I got it's part of their vintage line, so it's not a pilot's watch, but it's their the Phantom edition.
Yeah. Black on black on black?
It's ridiculous. It's like a dark, it's even worse than this one insofar as within the Bremont, this particular model Bremont, because it's a dark charcoal grey dial with almost black, like burnt match head coloured loom on the hands, on all the hands.
So you can't read it.
And the black, the numbers on the hour numbers and the second, sub-second indicators are all printed black as well. And the loom glows like very, very, very faint purple.
Like your shirt.
So even fainter than that. So you cannot read it even in the dark, let alone in sunlight. So crazy Bell & Ross.
But is it cool?
No. You know what?
It's totally
Karen,
cool,
my
right?
wife, summed it up when I sent her a photo and said, hey, check this out. She said, is that a swatch? And I looked at the photograph and I went, 100% fair enough. Damn. Because that shape, that bigger, that BR143, 146, I think, is the shape of a swatch. And arguably the perfect case shape and all of that. Yeah. But this watch with its grey rubber strap and the, whatever is...
That hurts.
Yeah. And by the way, it's for sale on my...
Ben hates it.
I hate it. But to be fair, look, I get why someone who would like that look would like it.
I'd probably like it.
For me, I'd
probably love it. The thing I love about Bell & Ross, and putting aside the BR05, which is their sports watch model that they did with the integrated bracelet, which is a bit pandery, but I do quite like it still, but I digress, is the brand exudes fuck you energy. Like that's who they are as a company. They are, I'm making big, square, pizza box looking watches. I'm making a pilot's watch that can go to the skies and go 1,000 meters below the ocean, because why not? And I think that's why Bell & Ross have a place. I think that they exemplify the fuck you energy of a watch brand that's having fun. And I think because of that, it's not going to be for everyone. It may not be for you. It definitely doesn't seem like it's for you in the most part when they get a bit crazy like that when you're talking about pilot's watches.
Certainly from a pilot's watch point of view, I've always liked Bell & Ross though. Like I've got one of the older vintage models, the sort of with the two, the 6 and 9 subdials.
Yes,
that's the one. I think I told you the story. I had a problem with Bell & Ross because I needed a new chrono unit, and my watchmaker told me it would be $400, and then I kind of went, shit. Well, these are retailing at, although I
10 times
bought
that.
the watch very well, but retailing 10 times that. But I do like Bell and Ross, and one of the things that I like about Bell and Ross is that they do such a good job of taking traditional, well thought out watchmaking standards and tropes, design tropes,
Yeah.
and making them new. I mean, everything about this watch has been done before by somebody.
Yeah.
But they combine it in such a way that it
feels fresh.
It feels fresh. They use colours and materials that feel fresh, and they're really good. I love them, and they work together with Zinn, which is a favourite brand of mine as well. I think the Bell and Ross by Zinn co-signed models are going to probably become even more and more collectible over time. What that does to the price of them, don't know, but I think they're more and more desirable.
Well, I think it only helps the more that we have Bell and Ross in the marketplace and the better Bell and Ross are doing. I mean, they're winning GPHG awards with their skeletons. They're doing is it Tourbillon skeleton they did?
Yeah.
They're doing the radar stuff. It's super popular. So the more Bell and Ross is in the zeitgeist and being more respected by watch collectors can only help things like the Zinn by Bell and Ross or the Bell and Ross by Zinn.
Absolutely.
The same way we saw with Zinn and their Navitimer.
Yeah.
Zinn literally do a Navitimer that is a genuine Navitimer because they bought the rights to it. And so, and then, as you were telling me a little while back, Breitling were buying it back, and it was this whole thing. But if you can find a Zinn Navitimer, you're going to pay just as much as a Breitling one. Like, they are popular, so I think that will only help. Zinn's a good name in the watch market and a good name in the watch collection circle, so having that associated with your brand is never a bad thing.
Worth looking at.
For sure.
Great that we covered off a Zinn with such interesting materials this time. Our next episode is going to be about materials and how that varies with what watches are made of, and what shininess is put as part of the casing and all that. And we also have some amazing guests coming up, lined up for the next in the next few episodes as well. Won't say too much, but let's just say do keep an eye out for that because that's going to be awesome.
We've got brand CEOs coming on. We've got some really, really special people in the world of watchmaking coming on. So yeah,
Indeed. So we are definitely off to see the wizard. So as usual, thank you very much to the community who do give us comments and likes and shares. Please do that if you enjoy what you see. It certainly helps us. Smash the like button. And from me, Fine Watches AU on Instagram, and Lewis,
GC Watch Guy,
on Instagram, and both of us here at the Fine Watches podcast. Until next time, enjoy.
Take care.